What's up, everybody? How'd you like that first song, right? That first song, woo! A little funky. A little soul. I like it. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Wherever you are in the world. Hello, hello. John Beatty, good to see you in the chat. Chelor, Squall Dog. Squall, I know you asked what camera I use. So this camera is an EOS R, and it's got a 35mm lens on it. I think it's a 1.8. I'm not really sure. And then the one up top is an EOS RP, 16-35 on it. I'm gonna switch that out for a smaller lens, or a cheaper lens, I should say, because there's no reason to put a really fast lens on that one on top. So, yeah. Major Brand Man, hello, hello. How long your ladies are gonna nap so you can sit on Twitch? Yeah, the kid nap time, man. It's like a beautiful escape, but who knows how long it's gonna last. Kale, good morning. Federica, hello. CYK Tom, hello, hello. Hey, Web Mamadou. Jordan. Momi Robble. The stream blipped on me? Oh no. Okay, so I need my stream watchdogs to keep an eye on everything, because I had the internet guy out yesterday. Check this out here. Let's run a speed test real quick. Share this, and then we'll just go speed test. I had this guy out yesterday, and he did something, and then all of a sudden everything was better. And he said, "Oh yeah, we left a port open on accident, and that can cause leakage." And none of it made sense to me. I had no idea what was going on. So, hopefully the stream is super chill and stays up. Yeah, so there you go. This is the internet that I've been paying for this whole time. So I'm glad about that. Okay, so just to repeat the camera, EOS R with a 35mm lens, EOS RP with a 16-35. Yeah, NASA Wi-Fi, exactly. I'm actually hardlined in, so I'm streaming with the PC that's going right to the box. Dude, right? Like, how can internet leak? Well, it's like somebody else using it? It's really strange. Yeah. Squall Dog, yeah, it was Canon. Yep. Christian, good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Ethernet is the way to go. 150-foot Ethernet cord? Wow. Holy smokes. Do I have a kit gear page? I think I do, but I haven't updated it with this new setup, because this is like less than a month or two old. Yeah. Yeah, so in the new house, we just had the pre-construction meeting yesterday too. Yesterday was a busy day. So we're getting structured data throughout the house, and in the office, I had them put a data jack on every single wall and the ceiling, just to be sure. Yeah. Oh, don't be a lurker. Just say hello in the chat. Manny, good to see you. Unless you're working on something. Urban, what's up? Yeah, we got two outlets installed in the ceiling in the office, and then I think we've got 4 on every wall. So I'm stoked on that. Oh yeah, in the ceiling, just in case. You never know, right? So everything will be hardlined, and we got gig internet over there too. So a twerker lurker, that would be into that. Squall Dog, if you twerk, I want to see it. Everyone's looking for the right time to drop a line here. Maybe. So, seltzer of the day. We're going back to the Good and Gather strawberry mango, which is my absolute favorite of all time. Super stoked to have this. It's hard to find. It's a Target thing. This one has a little bit of botulism, so we got a pop bottom, but hey, it's all good. All right. Is it a substitute for soda? Yeah, I was a hardcore Diet Coke like addict back in the day. I would drink 3 or 4 of them a day. And I realized it was just the carbonation. That's all I wanted. Yeah. Hey, Stricka, thank you for the follow. All right. In that case, I want to thank you. The days here are so boring. No incentives. Mr. Ben saved my day. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. John Beatty, if you get a soda stream, let me know how it goes, because I was thinking about getting one of those for the office. I'm going to have like a little coffee area in there. And soda stream, I've heard great things from friends and family, but then you go online and the reviews are terrible on that thing. It's crazy. Turn the music up just a little bit. It's a little low. There we go. What is it about Diet Coke? You're like the 3rd or 4th person knowing. Yeah, you know, I want to say it's been like 4 years since I kicked that habit. But for me, it was honestly the carbonation, because I tried Diet Coke maybe a while, maybe it was like last year or something like that, and it was so sweet. I don't know what it is, but I think for me it was just like straight up carbonation that I was after. Zach used the perfect proposal list yesterday. How did it go? You think water tastes gross? You should try the 75 hard challenge. I'm gonna drink a gallon of this. Gallon of this stuff every day, plus a couple seltzers in between. I think you'll get over it. You and Fanta. Okay, Fanta, that's like super sweet. Am I doing 75 hard? Yes. Yeah. Trying it. Me and, let's see. My wife, my brother and his wife, my other brother and his wife, we're all doing it together. And it's basically a challenge to see who can last longest. And we're all really competitive. So I guarantee you day 75 is going to be, it's going to be all 6 of us. Your blood is literally iced tea. That's not bad. That's not bad. As long as it's not like sweet tea. Yeah. In Europe, there's no carbonation, so it's like drinking juice. Oh, no. That's not good. Yeah, I pretty much drink coffee. I'll have 1 cup of coffee in the morning, maybe 2, depending on how the night went. And then maybe a seltzer or 2, and then the rest water. That's about it. I just can't drink anything else, like juice or anything like that. It's just too sweet. And I'm a guy who likes sweets. I mean, come on. Donuts are like my favorite food. Trying to kick soda right now and did only water for 2 weeks, but broke. Well, Stricka, try the seltzer thing, because I think it's the cold carbonation. It makes it just a little bit more special, you know. Hey, A, good to see you in the chat. Moonrain wants a donut now. We had this crazy donut shop in Richmond. I think it was called Sugar Shack, appropriately named. There was a maple bacon donut that had like huge chunks of bacon on top, and it was the best. It was the best food I've ever had in my life. Terrible for you. No wonder I weighed 347 pounds. Yeah, that illustration that you made in Figma of the car was crazy. I saw that in Discord, and man, that was insane. Good job on that. Sweet tea with lemonade. Isn't that an Arnold Palmer? Oh, with rum. Oh, jeez. That's dangerous. Bacon has been proven to help prevent cancer. I don't believe that. I call BS on that. Oh. Hey, Alyssa. Yeah, we're on a weight loss quest right now. But it's good. We're not doing anything too crazy. We've done the keto thing in the past and all that kind of stuff. Right now we're not eating processed carbohydrates, so like single ingredient carbohydrates and no sweets or sugary stuff or anything like that. No added sugar. Six out of 4 mathematicians agree bacon is the healthiest food available. My go-to alcohol of choice, honestly, I don't drink. And it's not a ethical thing, or it's not a any kind of addictive thing. I never even think about it. It's just not on my mind. I guess if I had to go with one, whatever's in a Manhattan, I don't know. I really, really like a good Manhattan. Like whenever we go to Vegas and sit at a table, I'll get a Manhattan or several. Yeah. But even that, like my favorite part is the cherry. So it's not a manly thing by any means. Squall Dog's gonna get 2 pigs, one named Bacon and one named Boston Butt. That's so mean. Coffee? Isaac, I just finished my coffee. All gone. It's a tragedy. It was Boy and the Bear. Was not natural organic. What is it? It's pink bourbon. That's the brew today. It's really delicious. Alyssa, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, like I'm starting to get used to streaming. I'm starting to get used to like having conversations live like this. And I really haven't promoted it to the wide future audience yet. It's probably going to come soon. So, but I really appreciate it. But the view count is definitely not what I'm after right now. Let's not assign gender to enjoying drinks. I'm so sorry. Get drunk and try to update my website. That there's a thing called drunk UX, I think it is. The user is drunk. Okay, yeah, so it's this guy. So you can hire this guy to get drunk and test your website and try and navigate your website, and he'll do it and he'll record it, and it actually I've seen some of the videos, and it actually kind of works. So he gets drunk and he tries to achieve a certain goal that you set forward for him, and he records the screen. Not only is it hysterical, but it kind of shows you how like the lowest common denominator, if somebody was ridiculously drunk, could they navigate your website and accomplish the goal? Kind of funny. Isn't that crazy? Travis, did I just pull up what you saw? The developer do drunk debugging? That's funny. Thanks, Alyssa. Hey, Ron. Good to see you. Supergiant Man. Can I speak a little bit on web builders, Webflow, Elementor, etc., and if your team ever uses them for fast iterations? Absolutely. We use Webflow pretty much across the board now. I've never used Elementor before, so I can't really speak to that, but I've used Wix and Squarespace and all those other ones, and none of them I would recommend to anybody but like a really, really small business owner, except for Webflow. So if you're a designer or if you're in the space, I would definitely recommend Webflow over anything else. There's no content that hasn't been made. Yeah, exactly. We'll see ya, Alyssa. Bye. Yeah, Webflow is definitely on top. Why is Elementor annoying? For those of you guys who have used it, I know that like the reputation is that it's slow on the front end, but that's kind of WordPress sites in general, unless you really know what you're doing. So why else is Elementor? Because that's a WordPress plugin, right? Elementor is what you install when you yeet your PC out of the window of a 10th-story building. That's funny. Now, the one. Let me look this up so I'm not speaking falsely here. Let's see, Tobias Schneider. Okay, this guy, Simplice. That's what it's called. I was gonna say simple. So Simplice is a WordPress plugin that's kind of like a portfolio builder. And show you this website here. Number one, his site is beautiful. But this is the only WordPress builder that I would ever recommend to someone, because I was using like Visual Composer back in the day and all this kind of stuff. This is it's pretty cheap if I remember right. I think I paid $99 for it for a license forever, and the editor was really, really nice to use. So if you're on WordPress and you want to stay on WordPress, I would recommend checking this out, because they put a lot of time in making sure that like the editing interface was built for designers. So I've never published a site with it though. I've played around with it so much that I'm familiar with the back end, but I've never published it and tested it. And the front end matters more than the back end, but yeah, so I can't like speak to if it's, if it makes fast websites or anything like that, but the back end's really fun to use. Because Tobias, well, yeah, of course. I mean, the guy's a great designer. But great designers make crappy things sometimes, so this is not crappy. Divi has a great reputation, but you almost need to know a little bit of code in order to really use it right. EditorX is another one that I've heard a lot about, but I've never used. Yay, 7 people. Well, listen, I'm also over on Twitch, so I've actually got 43 viewers on Twitch too, so don't worry about me. Everything's good. That's my opinion about Divi. If you don't have someone customize your install, Divi websites really come across as Divi websites. Whereas Webflow, it's hard to tell unless you crack open the back end. Triggered, you have a client using Divi and she loves it. Yeah, again, like especially with client work and stuff like that, do what you need to do. Do what's best for the client. I've told this story before. Hamilton Family Brewery built their entire website in Webflow, and I thought it was amazing. But they could not really edit it. They had all iPads in the brewery, so their store managers couldn't change the beer availability or anything like that from their iPads, because for some reason Webflow editor doesn't work well with the iPad. So they switched it, and now they're on Squarespace. And it's easier for them to edit. So I guess that's better for them, So go with what's best for the client and the project. But for me, man, I'm sold up with Webflow. Yeah, I use BuiltWith. I didn't know that they had a Chrome extension, but I did know that they had a website, and I've used that for looking things up. In WordPress, more plugins, more code, and code created by different developers, which makes the site backend pretty messy. Yeah, the worst thing about WordPress is like the updates. As soon as an update rolls through, you just never know what you're gonna get. and plugin conflicts and white screens of death. Man, those days were stressful. Keeping everybody's site up, like all my clients, couldn't stand it. Colibri. I've never heard of that one. Squall Dog. Colibri. Confidence defined. Nope, that's a cigar company. Colibri WP. WordPress page builder that gives you design superpowers. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not 100% anti WordPress. I'm just probably not going to be building too many websites in WordPress unless I need more advanced e-commerce functionality that Webflow doesn't offer. But even then, if like a Shopify site would be a better fit, I would probably use Shopify over Webflow right now, just because the e-commerce stuff is still really in beta. Sonal Design came a little late. What are you using? Oh, we're just chatting right now. How long are we just chatting? Oh God, it's been a half an hour. So I'm using Webflow, but today we're going to be working in XD and a little Photoshop. WordPress makes you cry from a code standpoint. Yeah. Nafe is on a mission to convert all of his clients over to Webflow. That's really cool. Webflow billing is great too. I don't know if you guys have tried this out yet, but I have a friend who I basically redid her website, and I host the website on my WordPress account, and then I bill her for hosting through Webflow. And I also have a like a plugin system for like a dynamic filter on her product page. So what I've done is I've added like the $5 a month or something that I'm paying for the extra JavaScript or that feature. I've added that to her hosting bill. So really what you could do is have a maintenance plan where you have somebody on retainer and you bill them through Webflow for their hosting and retainer all in one kind of together thing, which has been great so far. So client billing is a really big advantage for Webflow. Squarespace, I just have never been happy with their editor. I feel like I'm in a box. Squarespace. Probably about 90% of clients want content managed in a website in WordPress and then never update it. You prefer static sites where you know all the code. Hey, if you know that stuff, then go for it. Hey, good morning, Sean. So Isaac, if you're working with a team and you're using WooCommerce, WordPress, Divi, the thing that you'll hate about Webflow is that only one person can be in the designer at any given time. And I've heard of people just duplicating the sites and kind of dividing up the work, but that is the major disadvantage. Like the way that we want to update the future site, since there can only be one designer in the designer, which is their editor, at a given time, basically when one of our designers was like, hey, can I move to Korea for a little bit? We're like, sure. That way we can have somebody in there 24 hours a day. So that's the biggest disadvantage, because, you know, even duplicating the site, there's problems there where, like, if the main site is updated, you kind of have to compare notes to merge the two things together. So if you're working with teams, that's the one thing that I would flag for Webflow. Yeah, it's in the name. Squarespace in the box. Hey, Hugo. It is messy to duplicate the site. We duplicate the site pretty much every month, just in case we do something stupid and we need an extra backup aside from the built-in backups. But Sometimes we'll do like when we were redoing our sales pages, that was a huge project, and we knew that like the sales page design, we needed to build it out and test it in a completely separate instance. And even though we only had one person doing that, it was tough. Finally learned to make good backups after the data center. My sites are... Oh my God, it burned down? Holy smokes. Yeah. As far as the team stuff go, I'm hoping to hear stuff from the CEO of Webflow. He's doing a webinar on the 14th of this month, I think. And that is going to be really enlightening, because that's one of the first quarterly reviews that he's done in the last year. So it's going to be good to see what they're working on, because Webflow used to have this like really cool backlog that you could submit feature requests and stuff. And they were really on the ball with letting people know when things were coming and what they were working on and what was like pretty far in the backlog. And they've moved away from using that and more towards, data-driven updates and data-driven feature, updates. So we've been kind of in the dark for the past 6-8 months, and I'm super stoked to see a little bit more transparency, get back to where we were. Hey, Mellow Sprout. Your current portfolio is in Squarespace and it's rough. Why is it rough? Is it hard to edit? Is it difficult to get the site to do what you want it to do? Tom, hoping for more payment methods finally? Yeah. Yep. Agree. Can they finally fix their responsive design approach and accessibility? Manny, I would love to have a conversation with you about that. Maybe we can jump on Discord or something when my site is in that phase where we're working on the responsiveness and accessibility, because I know that you've said a whole bunch of stuff in the chat about that. So let's chat. Maybe you can help me out if you want to. Rom, you better turn the stream off if you're driving. Yeah, it doesn't do what I want. Yeah, that's Squarespace in the box. All right. Okay, so what are we doing today? You guys let me know in the chat what you're working on, and I will share what we're going to do for the next couple hours. Hope y'all enjoy your beautiful front ends. Cries in an enterprise software code base from the 90s that you've been picking on for the last 3 years. Oh, the Saint Fix, I'm so sorry. There is something to be said about 90s websites, though. Like, if you really go back, it's like, man, they were thinking. Another sketch cover, Batman Who Laughs. Dude, the last one was crazy, John. Yeah, that was so good. Sharpen your type skills. Oh, nice. Mario's class is so good. I mean, our class is better. Sorry, Mario. But his class is so good. What is your playlist? It's all on Epidemic Sound. So right now we're playing Gustav. It's Blue Purple is the song. But that first song, the funky one, A Little Higher, that's like my theme song. That was super great. I can't believe that thing is on Epidemic. Hey, Ellie. I appreciate it. Welcome. If you look at the internet in the 90s, there's a lot of ugly memories, but considering how hacked together it was, you know what though? Like there's some beauty in the ugliness and the simplicity. You know, frames have no place on the internet, but if you'll notice, like, people are starting to take note. Like, let's see, people are starting to use a frame concept, like having areas of the site just like this, which are not, you know, moving. They don't move around. They stick. So like sticky navs and stuff. Those are all concepts that are grounded in frames. That one doesn't work. Let's see this one. You know? So there's some concepts that were founded there. Hey, thanks for the follow, 7 Dre. From a development standpoint, in my experience, it's much easier to build sites mobile first. From a design standpoint, I can see how people prefer desktop versus mobile. True. Also, I think it's worth mentioning the user in that process too, because if the majority of your users are going to be visiting your website from the desktop, it's better to start there. But I totally get it. The thing about Webflow is that, like, they do, I think you mentioned it was like a reductionist approach, where as you go along, you start with desktop and then you reduce it down to fit mobile. And I was thinking about that when I was putting together this design on the case study page. And one thing that I noticed is the case study page, as it is going to have a lot of images that are 16 by 9. And this fills the space, right, on a desktop site. But then when we get down here, these 16 by 9 images are going to be so small on mobile, like for somebody who's scrolling through. And so I have a note here today, after we clean up this design document, I kind of want to review this case study page. And the prompt here is, how can we do more mobile friendly images? You know, like more portrait orientation versus landscape orientation, and kind of mix this in. So we kind of started up here with this guy, but again, this is simply just a cropped 16 by 9, and the vision there is that it kind of animates. It starts full width and then it animates to be a windowed image. So that's kind of the prompt that I want to tackle today, is how can we enable the more mobile friendly images to fill the small screen. That being said, I think it's important to, even if you're starting with desktop, keep mobile in mind, because then you'll wind up with a bunch of images that are too small to see. Oh, you guys are busy today. This is great. Isaac, you're building out a small community site on Squarespace. That's cool. Just finished a script to adjust text area height automatically. Oh, that's cool. Sam, is that in Figma? Speaking of 90s sites, you can still view the Space Jam Movies legacy site at its URL. Dude, I gotta pull that up. This needs to happen. No. Oh, this is great. Look at that. Look at that background repeat. Oh, wow. Planet B-Ball, Jam Central, The Lineup, Junior Jam. No. Oh my God. That's great. Yeah, your eyes. Behind the jam. Oh my God. Look at that. Accessibility disaster right here. Okay. I think we got clickable areas in this image. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You don't even notice that. Whoa. Okay, so here's what I'm saying, frames, but sticky navs. That's where they came from. I've probably made 20 or 30 websites that look really like, definitely not as good as this one, but very similar. Oh, that's so funny. Keep clicking on that one. If you like basketball and you like to jam, go no further. The levels of cringe from a UX display. But here's a sitemap. Space Jam's lineup, Looney Tunes. Oh God. Taz. Zero hierarchy in text, but you gotta love it. You gotta appreciate this stuff. Look at this. It's blinking because you're there, but the blinking attracts attention. It's like, click me, but you're already inside the lineup here. Oh my goodness. Anybody remember what these things were called? Where you had like an image map or something like that, and then you could designate which, like where to click in here. You know what would be a really cool project? Is if somebody took this site and turned it into something like super cool. I wonder if they have. Okay, I mean, all it is a trailer. Okay, so there's a little website here. All right, that's about it. So this would be a really cool portfolio project. Look at it, it's downloading something automatically without my permission. What is that? That's so weird. Anyway, this would be such a great portfolio project to redo the Space Jam website. Like, bring it into After Effects and just animate the crap out of it. Have it, man, that would be so fun. Remake it in Webflow. Remake it in Webflow as it is, and then do an updated version. That's so cool. That background repeat though is something else. 1996. Wow. I don't think Warner Brothers. I don't think they'll copyright strike your portfolio image. I mean, don't take that to the bank. Was it image maps? Last time I've done image maps was a few years ago, a site plan for a commercial development page where you could click different lots to view more info. Yeah, we've done that. Let's see. I wonder if it's still up. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So this is a website that we did at Blind, and we had something similar. This is a really fun project. So this is, I don't think that this is an image map. It might be an SVG map. We had these little things that were clickable depending on where you wanted to go. This was such a good project. But I think that this was like an SVG map. I can't remember if it was connected to a CMS or not. This is built in WordPress. It's totally not accessible on mobile though, this little map. But it's cool. Cool feature. Okay, so today I found myself getting a little distracted with all of the exploration in the document. So first on the list is we're going to refine this, and then we'll probably revisit the case study page. But I'm going to try and lay out all of the light mode and the dark mode pages and start pulling in components and then standardizing the type, all that kind of good stuff. So kind of grunt work today, but it's stuff that needs to be done. Goodbye, wireframes. Image hotspots. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was called. Actually, I think I'll keep that as my components artboard. I like to keep the inspiration somewhere around here. I went and took a COVID test this morning, not because I'm feeling ill, but because I think we're going to go visit my brother. We've done the whole quarantine thing, and then we're going to go say hey. And even in this small town of Clemson, they have this this whole system where you register online, you immediately get a QR code, you drive up, you get like this little test tube thing, and then you pull around, you spit in it, and you put it in the thing. The whole thing, literally, I was out of the house and then back in the house within 8 minutes. It was crazy. So typically the way I like to set up my design documents, especially when I'm moving into a more, like if I'm starting to bring everything around to dev, I like to have a big artboard for all of my components where the primary component lives. Some software is called like a master component or master symbol, I guess. And actually, let's do light mode components. I think I just screwed myself there. Hold on. This out of the way. But I like having the design system visible, and I like having all of the primary things kind of in place. Same with the typography. Colors, so do maybe Clemson's small town. Isn't it the top 3 most populated cities in South Carolina? I don't know. I don't know the statistics, but if it is, it's largely due to the university because this place is tiny. Part of the reason why we're jetting out to Greenville. Greenville's a bigger city. Okay, so just so all of our iteration fans are put at ease, we do have, I've saved our exploration document as an exploration document. So I'm deleting a bunch of stuff just to kind of clean this document up, all the old ideas that we're not pursuing. So it's still there. We really want to like collect all of our parts and pieces in one area versus having them kind of scattered around. So we'll organize the type in a minute. And the reason being is now that we're into case studies, we need to generate a whole bunch of these pages, and each one is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to use a CMS for the case studies, and the type system, the components, they all should be like in place before we start working on individual pages like that. Because otherwise you're going to wind up having to change type on 47 different pages, and that's annoying. We also just need to make room for mobile layouts too, so that's another reason. Let's see. I don't think we need this anymore. I think we've already done this. Yeah, okay. This is a blog page. I think I'll leave this one, even though we've redone that. All right. And this is the way I work. You can work totally different. It's totally up to you. But I'm fairly OCD when it comes to my design docs. Because at the end of the project, like if we're working with clients or something like that, the design doc, number one, if you're handing off your design documents to your client, you definitely want it to be clean, but also it makes great screenshots for your case studies. So making image hotspots was the only time I used Dreamweaver, as it has a tool for it. Yeah. Is Dreamweaver still, does it exist? Neurotica, thank you for the follow. Sean's going to get the old microchip. Nice. Good for you, dude. All right, 404. We could probably lose this one. This will be light mode and dark mode. Put that over here. So all of these are good to go here. We didn't really do any exploration at this point because most of that stuff was pretty well taken care of. Type was in place, etc. I wonder what, wait a minute, what is this? What happened here? Weird. Got the case study. Menu explorations. Okay, we can get rid of these. This one. Man, I don't know if I'm ready to let go of this yet. The pink definitely needs to go. There we go. All right. So it's between these two. I'm cool with that. Okay. This feels a lot more organized. And what's nice is that you can actually start to see what light mode pages that we need to do. We're probably not going to do a light mode variation of every single case study page, but we do need to do it. We do need to cover resources, content, projects, and then collab, and then especially the home page and the menu, because those are going to require some thought. And then this is, I think what did here was it's these gridded options that I wanted to hang on to, so just put this as spare parts. Okay, so now we got plenty of room for our mobile designs and light mode stuff. All right, so we'll work out this system in a second. Ellie, yeah, I'm actually going to be building this in Webflow. Yep. How does light and dark mode work in Webflow? Do they have something that helps you, or do you have to duplicate the page and change the colors, etc.? I think Timothy Ricks has a really good tutorial on light mode and dark mode in Webflow. They definitely don't have a tool for that, but what you need to do is you need to set up a toggle switch that switches the basic body text colors and stuff like that. So it involves, I think, maybe 1 or 2 lines of custom code. But it's really not that bad. Everyone uses VS Code, I feel like. Dreamweaver still exists? Really? Wow. Huh. Probably happened when, oh yeah, when that image moved. Exactly. Hand coding your own light mode. Oh, what's up, Ashley? Connor. Been going back through them, but can't find the one on how you use your creative research to come up with your design. It was really just gathering those elements. So the research was figuring out, like, kind of nailing down all the individual elements that I'm going to incorporate into the site. So there's these badgy things, the colors, the type, all of this was drawn from all these inspirations, and some of it was drawn like directly. So there wasn't a direct, like, here, we're going to pull this and put it here, and then we're going to pull this and put it here. But you can see, like, here's a great, I love this layout. Huge header, like H massive here, and then smaller body type, and then some menu items over here. And you can see I pulled that in a bunch of different places. Like, here's the kind of columns that they had over there. And then over on the case study, here's kind of another execution of something similar. So it's really like once you pull in all of your research and all of your inspirational pieces, then you kind of put that in the back of your head, start designing. H massive. I wish I could claim it. That's not original. That came from somewhere, somebody else. Yeah, because it's like there's the heading 1 and the heading 2, and all those need to be functional, and then there's the big type. The big type. You know what I mean? What's up? FTT Pro. Hello. All right. I am going to go use the bathroom because, again, drinking a gallon of water a day. And I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. back. My travels were uneventful. I am actually going to share the thing that you did in Discord. Hold up. Because I feel like people need to see this. Check this out, y'all. I'm going to open the original. Let's go there. Let's do it. All right. So, A made this car in Figma with gradients. Look at that. It's crazy. It's incredible to see another designer, another streamer make something so cool just for the love of making things. It's insane. Go to the dribble post though? Okay, hold up. Yeah, when I saw this this morning, I was like, man, we got to talk about it. Yeah, there you go. So good, dude. So good. If you're in the audience and you're doing cool stuff, post it in Dribble and we'll take a look at it. We'll talk about it. We'll put it on stream because this is just awesome. Good job, dude. Man. Very, very cool. Yeah, go check him out on Dribble. Right. Okay, so before I get to refining the case study page, I think we need to handle our type. So I'm really just kind of ironing out all of the swatches and the colors that we've used in the past. Those little rectangles that you saw before, I was just trying to figure out if they worked together and the contrast was right. And that was all in the exploration doc. Got them pretty much in there. The only thing that I'm missing is there's kind of like 3 white and light gray values. Pretty sure I'm using that. E, D, E, B everywhere, but let's check. Nope. E2, E4, O. Okay. Oh, I see. That one has a little bit of a green tint. That's why I have both of them. And then this is the true white. Okay. All right. it's not true white, but it's as close as to true white that I'm going to get on this site. These values are so similar. Hey, Ashley. Good to see you. How often do we run discovery sessions when it's not specifically for logo and identity work? Every time. Yeah. There's tons to be discovered that you're going to need for any project, you know, whether you're doing digital stuff or not. Right. All right, let's see. How do I want to do this? $130 and $120. Let's see what this is. $130, $120, -$30. Yep, okay. So this is heading 1. Where did I use this? This is This is 48, 46. So here's what I'm doing in a nutshell. I started with a type system that I kind of outlined with these lockups here and adjusted them to fit the design over time. So I'm going back and I'm reverse engineering the patterns that I used in the design and standardizing the character styles on the other end. So it's not the most thrilling thing in the world, but definitely needs to be done. So here it is, 48, 46. And then we'll create a light or a dark mode version of all these two. Find my clients aren't interested in booking the discovery session when all they're concerned with is the deliverable, like the website or catalog. Oh, I know we put a lot of effort on selling individual discovery and strategy sessions on the channel, but honestly, the way that I've always done it is just kind of grouped it in with everything else. Sometimes it'll show up as a line item, but it's just a requirement for us to do our job. We have to know what we're building. We have to know details about what the user needs and wants and all this kind of stuff. So even if we do a scaled down version of the discovery session, it always makes it in somewhere, because otherwise you're not learning anything. You're just a glorified piece of design software. So instead of showing like a huge markup for a design or a discovery session in your proposals and contracts, what I recommend is lumping everything together and giving one price. And that price includes X, Y, and Z, including discovery. So and then if they try to pick it apart, if they remove discovery, then you kind of put the burden on them. And you say, all right, so here's what I'm going to need. And then you give them a huge list of things that they're going to have to find answers for, like a customer journey, 4 user profiles, and all this kind of stuff, where they're going to be like, I don't have that. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't do the work without this information. So, yeah. Manny has a good question. Want to turn into a case study for portfolio? Any tips on how best present the case study and what content you'd look for? It's a COVID contact tracing app. So UX research and wireframes are part of what I did. Yeah, so you want to follow the basic format that I've outlined in the case study here. I think, let's see, Travis must have, let's see who did that. Jordan took good notes. Eye candy, headlines, narrative, impact, more eye candy. That's pretty much the basic format. Just make that eye candy really, really good. And then inside the narrative, that's where you show your process. But the thing that matters most on any case study is the impact that you had on something, whether that's, even if it's a student project, like talk to your buddies and see if they like your version better than the published version, or do a randomized survey online to see if you can get some answers from real people. But the impact, if you can demonstrate that with hardcore numbers, that's the most important. I think Sean asked if we ever barter with design, and I'm gonna say yeah. I've done that a bunch. The buddy that owns the hair salon that I know, she and I bartered for, I think, a year or two of hair services for my wife, which was great. I think that the key there is just like not to make it part of your everyday practice. Like, make sure that you're only doing that for good buddies, good friends. Whoa. Oh yeah, this was when the body copy was 22. We made it 28 at this resolution. It does feel a little large. I wish there was a built-in character counter in XD. So we're good there. Uh-oh. Freeze? What's going on here? Give it a minute. I could reach back out to users I interviewed and show them the final product. Would that qualify as impact though? Absolutely. So with yours, I think that if you interviewed users, what you can do is reach back out to them and ask them to complete a task. So you're basically conducting user testing, and then you're going to demonstrate how many of them were able to successfully complete that task. And so you can say 10 out of 10 users were able to sign up for contact tracing or whatever the point of the app is, and use those stats in here. So that's going to be really key for everybody who's trying to onboard clients. Now, if you're trying to just get a job somewhere, those impact, it doesn't exactly matter, because the hiring manager or the creative director is going to be evaluating the work over the actual impact on the client. But if you're an entrepreneur, all your potential clients care about is if the work that you do helps them meet their goals. Zach, any tips for getting work from conferences like Anime Expo? It's always been a dream of mine to work with Godzilla Fest. Man, that's awesome. No tips. No tips. That's a tough market to break into, because usually budget is super tight, and it's kind of a tricky area of business. They run those conferences very, very, very tight, and once they've found an agency or a couple of freelancers to do that, that's usually it. So I'm not telling you that your work is going to be, or your dreams are crushed, but definitely a skinny industry to try and break into. Oh, there's a plugin called Count Text. That's cool. I'll check that out. Hey, Peter, thank you for the follow. Let's pick this back up here. Just gonna remove that. There we go. All right, I'm struggling here because let's take a look at this in the browser. I don't know. I think we need to go back to 28. This is 24 on top, and this is 28. Obviously, it's going to scale down depending on the browser width. But at this browser width, this feels right, even though it looks a little big on the R type scale. We also have a smaller text size too. I'm going to delete this and add this as so we've got 16, 0.16 line height for that. Let's see. Yep. What I love about InDesign is that you can layer character styles on top of paragraph styles, or paragraph styles on top of layer styles. So what's cool about that is that you can set, like, say for example, we want to set this as a style, right? We want to save it as something that we can reuse throughout the document. So with InDesign, you can set the typeface, the weight, the size, and then the line height. All that you can set as a character style. And then you can have a paragraph style that sets the color. And so instead of having to change, if we ever wanted to edit our system here, instead of having to change it in both colors, you can just change the character style, which lives inside the paragraph style. So it's like one place, one source of truth if you want to be really buzzwordy. Zach's gonna go cry in the corner. But I think that like conferences are gonna be a part of a larger industry. So if it's Godzilla Fest, like what is that? Is it horror entertainment? Is there an industry within, or does that conference live within an industry that you could specialize in? Because horror entertainment is probably huge, right? Caption. And we have emphasis text, which I think is this large here. Let's check this out. Okay, so that's 76 and 90. Did I even use that? That's the heading 2. Ooh, that's what it was. 80 and 70. Well, that's pretty dang close to the heading 2 there, isn't it? And then of course we have our H massive. So let's see, 360, probably just set that at 360. It'll never wrap. Like me, no future in wrap. Ba-dum-tsh. We will be doing some critiques today, right around 1 o'clock. So for those of you guys who need some help with something or want something reviewed, go ahead and throw that in the Discord. I thought I saw someone ask where I found Stelvio. I have no idea. It's been bookmarked. It's been bookmarked for a long time. And then we have this large heading here. I always like to have at least one of those in there just to be sure. Just in case. So I think I've used this gray that has a little bit of like a green tint for most of my type. And one of the questions that I had moving into this exercise was like, is that the way? Or do I need to go a little bit more desaturated? But I honestly think that the green versus like pure white, the contrast here is a little bit too high. And this is really nice and comfy. So I'm gonna stick with that one. Okay. So the only one that I have a question about is this one right here. So I think this one was, okay, so it's pretty close to heading 2. Oh, I remember why I turned the autofocus off on the overhead camera. Because right now, it's just constantly trying to find focus for some reason. And I can hear it. You guys probably can't hear it, but I can hear it. Is the line height for this a little tight? Probably, yeah. Dad jokes are on fire. Thanks. Tim Games Twitch just found out that he was colorblind. The diagnosis came completely out of the purple. Cheers. Cheers, sir. Good one. With the NASA Wi-Fi, can you now stream in 1080? Probably. I'm going to try it next stream on Tuesday. The stream so far has been good. I don't think we've dropped out. I still have a green excellent flag on my bitrate. And all good on the frames. So next stream, I'll bump it back up to 1080 and 60p. Or 1080p and 60 FPS. Yeah. I guess I just had leaky internet, is what the guy said. Doesn't make sense, man. It'll make no sense. Okay, so now let's start moving, putting together these. Oops. Light mode. Yeah, leaky internet. That's what the tech told us. He said there was a port left open, which can cause leaks. Has to have internet and PC capable of decoding and processing 1080 over 60. Oh, that's true. think I reduced the open. Yeah, I did. Whoops. Okay. See you later, Hugo. Thanks for stopping by. Live concert testing at your coworker. That's cool. Nice. Have a good one. I can't believe somebody broke into my garage and stole my limbo stick. Like, seriously, how low can you go? Dude, Frank is on point. Man. Nicely done. Get it? How low can you go? Oh, that's where the gray came in. Okay, so the green was kind of too green for the background, so that's where we pulled in that desaturated level. Okay, that makes sense now. So even if you're going to be designing or developing the site on your own, this kind of consistency matters, because what'll end up happening is you'll check out your design and then you'll go back to Webflow and then you'll be building this thing in Webflow. And then you won't notice the subtle changes between each page until it's too late. So that's why I'm a big stickler for making sure that you have everything squared away in your design document before you move into Webflow. And some things can help. Like obviously you're not going to make 40 different text, like body text classes in Webflow, but things like spacing can really get you hung up. How are you handling web hierarchy with the super big H1? Super easy. So in Webflow, you can class something as an H1 without styling it and then add a class on top of that. So sometimes what you'll notice, what you'll see, and maybe it's not best practices, but this is the way I roll. Sometimes you'll see, let's say, for example, this is going to be the H1 on this page, obviously, but let's try... Maybe the now page is a good example. This could be classified as just a piece of text, right? But it's styled as a massive header, whereas this is styled as what I've labeled as a heading 2, but it's classified or tagged in the code as an H1. So that's the way I kind of handle it. I don't feel like the visual styling of a heading must reflect the code. Do I use wizardry? Dude, I just found that like a couple of months ago. So this site will be built with wizardry. Super pumped about that. So wise. All right, so let's see. I think this was heading 2. Yep. So you can see right here, here's the difference. This type is really tight. And this is the way. This is the way. You're literally rebuilding a site, a client site night using Wizardry. Gutted I didn't find it sooner. Oh, that's cool. So that's intentional. One is an H2 and the other a decorated paragraph. No, it's intentional. I want the H1, because there should only be one on the page. I want the H1 to be the most descriptive thing that a search engine can digest, or like a reader is going to digest. Now, obviously resources, this is the natural H1. But in this example, like say that this described the page better, this is what I would want to have as my H1 for content purposes and SEO and that kind of stuff. So I see this as a totally different thing. Like the H1 does not have to be the biggest piece of type on the page. I think the only difference there is size and line height. So we'll mark that down to 16 just to make it consistent. There we go. Manny, you always like sum everything up so nicely. I need you to like, we need to come sit right here, and then you take the mic, and I'll like just tell you stuff, and then you sum it up in super neat, nice, concise terms. Semantics do not need to align with styling, but they often do for legibility and accessibility. It's perfect right there. That's it. Freaking line color. Right. I do think that you can break out of your type scale for stuff like this, where you really just want it kind of small and out of the way. Did you guys notice when I selected this and then hit fill, the line changed color? Isn't that crazy? Normally you have to set that individually. It's so weird. Yeah, it's an actual line. That's how I'm gonna have to make it in Webflow. The underline on this is just a little tight. Okay. So I know this seems a little tedious, but working like this, you can start to identify inconsistencies, like missing that line from that header. So one thing I'm noticing is the difference between the light and the dark is that I transferred all the type directly from the dark mode into the light mode. And you notice the difference in weight between these two? So between the perfect proposal here and helping health and beauty, whatever. So this is actually Stelvio regular. And this is also regular. Let's find a better example of this. What if I... Make that the same size. So you can see the visual difference in weight. The light text on the black background looks a lot heavier than this. So if I wanted to communicate the same thing visually, I'd probably have to bump this up. I don't know if I want to do that right now. Let's see. Oops. You can see that is just bumping it up from regular to medium. Looks a lot more in line between the dark mode and the light mode. That's just the way our eyes work. Funky things like that. This was heading 3. We'll keep it at medium for a while. See how we like that. But what the nice thing is about using these systems is now that I've updated it in the character styles, it's updated throughout the document. So everything that I've classified as heading 3 is now changed. Okay. probably just make a symbol out of this, or component, I should say. So what I did was I grouped everything, Command G, and then I hit Command K and it made a component over here. And we'll turn this into footer, light. It's been a while since I used Sketch, but I think it was like symbols over there. Webflow also has symbols, which we will be using to great extent. The gallon of water is catching up to me. Be right back, guys. All right. I don't know about you, but this part of the project for me. Most boring. Crucial. That's the most boring. Once you nail down like a direction for the thing, that's where the real work starts. The exploration phase and creative research and stuff is so much fun. Love Not War, thank you for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the chill atmosphere. Keep reaching for more seltzer, and there is no more. Frank, you like the new Wix builder? What's different about it? Is it that much better? Tell you, a lot of people coming out of school using Wix for their portfolio. Sean, you're stubborn and old. Maybe. I also don't like too many editors. But I want to. I think that's the difference. It's like, that's something, if you can just get right, which I think Webflow's got it right, but if you can just get right, like, I will use the crap out of your WYSIWYG editor. Not too many companies get it right. I'm not making a symbol out of the nav bars just yet. I'm doing that on purpose because I think I'm going to change some things. I've got some sketches of the light mode, dark mode toggle switch. I think it's going to go vertical right here, but I think I'm also going to change this to just a button. one of the things that I noticed is that the buttons that we have on the collaboration page, which we'll check out in a second, we don't have any of these things anywhere else at all. So definitely need to make sure that we're repeating those themes throughout, because if you just throw a 3D button on one page, one instance, it's gonna feel kind of weird. Let's see, what is this? Volume H2, yeah. Oh, here's one of those weird sizes that I don't think I was tending to use. 60 and 46. Oh, thanks, Love Not More. Appreciate that. We're just chilling, hanging out. It's too much. Too much. Too far. I use over here. I think this was, it's the same. Maybe the emphasis text needs to be that 60 point. Trying not to add too many different sizes and variations here, but that just feels right. I don't know. Here's another thing that's going on. We've got these rules, lines on different pages here. We've got all different distances. So 60, 100, 100. Let's see how this looks on screen. Versus 60. Kind of like 60. Sam, am I going to leave the live recordings up on your Twitch or YouTube channel? Oh, probably YouTube channel, because I think that the Twitch recordings go away after a while. Yeah. But the edited version should be starting to be released in April, May, end of May. And there'll be a whole, narration and all that kind of good stuff. XD's freezing a little bit today. I wonder what's up. Referring to the new editor X. So you guys talking about more Wix builders? Ellie is digging into CSS. Nice. Very cool. If you know even a little bit of CSS, I can guarantee you that you're going to love Webflow. So do it up. Nope. Let's see, what is this? 17, 16, okay. Do I prefer XD over Figma? Right now, yeah. But it's just simply because I haven't used Figma in a while. I know Figma's awesome, so if you prefer that, go for it. For sure. So I think that the trickiest thing between light mode and dark mode is going to be this form right here, which is why I'm not changing these button hover effects yet. So I need to talk to Tim. I need to talk to Tim Ricks and ask him how to handle this. Tim, I need an adult. Ooh, that's a little intense, isn't it? I need medical transportation. So what I'm wrestling with is the active state of the fields. I'm trying to differentiate it from the inactive states. Moving the label up slightly while keeping the placeholder here and having this text box there. It works, it's just, I don't know if it's that different enough. Then the other thing is that these radio buttons, fine, they need some sort of like dot in there to just communicate that you've selected that thing other than changing color. But what I don't like is that the button here is an outline. So I'm seeing a difference between the radio select and then the button. So that's what's going through my head right now. I'm trying to plan the system around that. This is probably the most work that you'll experience on a UI. It's, other than freaking content creation, creating the images, writing the copy, that kind of stuff. But like figuring out how buttons look and how forms perform and how radio selections work and how drop downs work if you have those, all that kind of stuff is difficult. Anyone have thoughts on the vendor lock-in using things like Webflow? I'm actually cool with it. As long as they continue to deliver the value that we signed up for. Christian, I have no idea how I found this typeface. It's been saved as a bookmark in my in Chrome for forever. Honestly, I don't know. Because it wasn't on fonts in use or anything like that. It was probably just something random. Okay, meaning when the cursor is in a field, change the border color. Yeah. So the border colors, or the colors that I have access to, are basically kind of a truer green, which doesn't look barely any different on a stroke. This pink, which kind of fades it into the background. This light green, which has the same problem, or this action red, which looks like an error. Yeah. We just like increase the weight by a lot. Too far. Oh, you know what we could do? Could turn these things into lines. And have the box grow when it's focused. Which would actually solve a couple of problems. Probably too tall, yeah. might be too radical a change there. The vision being, you're on the page, click here, the box kind of grows around it. Label doesn't actually move because it's already in position. And then the text color changes. That could be cool. Am I breaking any UX laws, Sam? Meow Kush, thank you for the follow. Hey, Josiah, thank you for the follow. Radis, hello. How are you? Good to see you. I am well. Just wrapping up some light mode versions of the site. Okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that because I kind of like that, but the form feels a little lost in the page. I don't know. I gotta add those buttons in here. I don't think it's gonna let me center. Hold on. Yeah. Yes, I'm live. Are you live streaming? Hello. Okay. That's my wonderful life partner right there. You think designing in dark mode first will become standard like mobile first has become? Yeah, actually. I don't know too many people who would consciously pick light mode over dark mode right now, but you know, all those trends change. Now that I see it, probably want a border. No fill. YT. Oh, I'm so sorry. Some people prefer light mode. You need both. Okay, let me change the padding. 1240, 1220. Is this the song that shows up in every YouTube video that you guys are talking about? That's funny. The funny thing is that I'm not like thrilled about this song. Oh, I see. Okay. What was that last one? Forgot. Interview. Okay. So we've got the hover state. Now we've got the selected state. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to see how that sits for a while. See how that sits. Let's actually remove that song from the playlist because you are right. I'm doing an ending soon screen this time, and we're going to play that Soul song again because that was so good. All right. Let's do some critiques. Holy smokes, it's already 1:30. Okay. We got time for one or two today. We got through some good stuff here. You know what? I don't want to leave this unfinished. Hold on one second. Let me just change this color. Loop in the footer. So while I'm just kind of wrapping up here, if you'd like a critique, head over to the Discord and jump in the waiting room. Just make sure you post or crit your work in the critique channel. This is unresolved right here. That form is just kind of floating there. I'll fuss with it later. Hey Shazad, good to see you. How about if all the fields fade in opacity when any one field is focused on? That could be cool, yeah. Oh, with strokes all the way around. I'll make a note of that. All right, it's looking good. Coming along. Okay, let's go to critiques. Let's crack open Discord and see who's over there. All right, so it looks like Roy was first. So we got Roy and Squall Dog in there. Let's see. Designing this website for a client. Copy is not written yet. Okay, cool. Roy, pulling you into stream chat. Yeah, you're right, Sam. It might look a little less floaty if all the fields were boxed. But I think it's more like this area, you know, where the button is. Because in the dark mode, in the first iteration, whoa, what is this? Squirrel. Whoa, that's some old stuff. Hold on. Get rid of that. So we've got boxes here, but then this button, which I don't like, this full width button kind of like put a foot on that form. So I don't know. I'll keep playing with it. See how it goes. All right, let's do this. Roy, can you hear me? Nope, because I'm not in there. There we go. Roy, how about now? Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me now? Okay, great. Are you hearing me through Discord or through the stream? Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Oh, it looks like you're listening to me through the stream. Yeah, I would move over to Discord and turn the audio on the stream chat. Otherwise, there's going to be a big delay. Turn your volume up. Turn the music down.
Let me see how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben?
Mm-hmm. Yep, can you hear me? So the chat settings are right. Check. Yep. Okay, so you may want to go into audio settings, like user settings.
No, just through the stream.
Yeah, that's not gonna work, dude. The delay is gonna kill some conversation. But you might want to go into user settings and just make sure that you're.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, weird. But make sure your voice and video settings are correct, so that your mic and your audio are connected. Because your mic's connected really well. I can hear you just fine. It's you hearing me that's weird. So you may want to close the stream and focus on Discord. It's better but not great. Okay, I can turn them up.
Okay, there. I can hear you.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so we are looking at this website, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For a client, it's a startup that's making an app in order to allow people to pay off their student loan debt through user-generated content campaigns. And also, they're going to be adding an API integration with gig economy platforms, so that your tips can go directly to reducing your debt.
Okay, great. All right, is there a way in Figma that I can play the prototype? Is this it? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so this is designed to be the full browser, right? This like blue to white background?
Yeah.
That line? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen in stream chat so you can see what I'm looking at. So if you go to the stream chat room, there we go. So I'm going to broadcast my screen. That way we're on the same page. All right, so we'll look at it the way it's intended. And let's minimize this and then move to kind of a clean area. There we go. Okay. So as far as the layout is concerned, I think that the biggest thing that I'm seeing here is you'll probably want to design at scale, which is a little tricky with Figma. So in XD, you can set your scroll height, and then you can see how it fills the browser. And the biggest thing that I'm seeing is that, like, especially above the fold, there's a lot of things that are very crowded. You know what I mean? So this feels cluttered is a bad word because I don't think it's gotten to that point. But you've crammed a bunch of stuff in here, and it's very busy. My eye doesn't even know where to look. And so let's say that the main. Well, let me ask you, what's the main thing that you want people to do on this page?
Download the app.
Okay, so if you want me to download the app, I might hit the Google Play button, I might hit the App Store button, but I might think that these icons are buttons because right now they're competing for my attention. Because these buttons...
Because of the color?
Yeah, because they share the same color as the CTA. And then, you know, as far as like hierarchy, honestly, my eye went right here first to that text message thing. Because it's brighter than these, you know, green CTAs. So if this were animated, if this were, if that's had some like opacity in the background or some transparency in here, I think that it might be better. But like right now, my eye does not know where to go. I'm very distracted. So I would clean up the hierarchy, especially with color, and maybe even make these things smaller so they don't draw too much attention that way. As far as your typography, it's pretty good. The hero text here might be a little bit tall, like your line height might be a little high. So I would tighten that up a little bit. And then I think that this distance between the header and the subheader is pretty good. Viewing it at scale, these buttons feel a little bit large to me. But again, that kind of depends on the browser width and height. So there's that. Yeah, you see how these icons are nice and small? Yeah. I think that that's a really cool way to do something like this, where you're taking this pattern that you're making with all these icons floating around of reaction and stuff like that. You can do the same thing up here, whereas these more illustrative icons, these large scale icons, are better served as specific points that you want to prove.
Oh, okay. Get it.
It's a nice little slider. So basically, it kind of works like a accordion or a slider where you click here and then something expands. You see the text and then maybe this image changes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if to make it just you click on it, it's sort of like a tab, or if while you scroll down, it changes automatically. What do you think?
I think if you force the user to click on something, you're going to lose a lot of eyeballs on number 2, 3, and 4 because the interaction is not as intuitive. So I would recommend maybe even doing a scroll where your window locks at this point and you're loading this header and this paragraph in as you scroll. And so it's like you click down to scroll. My mouse has like clicks. So you scroll down a little bit and then the join a campaign and the paragraph kind of disappears and then submit your post and the paragraph appears. And then the image changes.
Sort of how I wanted to do it. The image will be fixed. Well, not the image, but how do you call it? Like the viewport will be fixed, and the text will be changing as well as the image while you scroll down.
Yeah, because then that way that the user will be able to read everything. They don't have to. They don't have to stop scrolling, but at least you're not hiding stuff in kind of an accordion style.
Okay.
I think that the accordion style works if the title or the tab title is on one side and then the content is on the left side, too, so that like you can see there's a clear relationship between those two. So let's say join a campaign. Maybe this paragraph should be over here if you wanted to do a more accordion thing, so that when you click join a campaign, the details load on the side of your screen, and then you can click submit your post, and then the details change on this side. So that to me is it's a clearer relationship.
Okay, makes sense.
This is cool. Yeah, these are nice. Yeah, so when we get down here, I am, again, a little bit overwhelmed. I would love that you're using the entire browser window, but this type seems a little bit big. Like, it's almost too much. I don't know where to look first. So I think putting some hierarchy in here, because, the I Can Pay Off Student Loan gives out scholarships and college cash. They're so close in size and emphasis that my eyes are like, oh, I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too. It's a bit too big.
Mm-hmm. This is nice footer. Okay, let's check out one more screen here. Oh, I see. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, very cool. All right. Yeah, and with this kind of scrolly function, see how you've got these things changing. I would honestly just lose the join a campaign, selection process, receive payment, unless you have it in a separate column. So if you look at one of our sales pages, like if you go to the typography sales page on the Future, we've got this scrolly section that works very similar, but it's got two columns. It's got one column for the selection for the title, and then another column for the body or the paragraph. So I can pull that up here.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's on this page. This page is pretty new. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see this page is a little sticky. And what we did here was we have the menu on this side, and then we have it changing depending on where you are on the scroll. And I think that I see that as a little different than taking a list of things and then like moving them. They would be constantly moving up and down, and it might be hard for the user to follow one line of text that goes like up once and then down, and then because you're gonna have to move the spacing in between in order to fit the paragraph in there, like this. See? So like selection process here actually moves up when you scroll. So the title is always kind of shifting around. So that can be a little difficult for people to follow. So that's my recommendation there, is just to swap out the text as you scroll.
Okay. Yeah,
and you can put you put dots here so that, or some form of, some way to let the user know that like, hey, you're in slide 3 out of 4 versus putting a number.
Okay.
Other than that, it looks really good. Like typography is pretty on point aside from, what I mentioned. And yeah, color scheme's great. Good job, dude.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks for your feedback.
Absolutely. Okay. Squall Dog. Let me I'm going to turn the chat volume down a little bit just to make sure. What's up, dude? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? Hold on a second. Let me turn you down on the stream.
Okay. You guys hear him okay?
All right, cool. Now I got you where I can hear you.
All right. So we're looking at a stylescape?
Yes.
All right. All right, walk me through it.
my very first Stylescape. So it's interesting because we were talking about this last time we were looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at some stuff I'm trying to do. I had most of the stuff I'm looking at as far as like my inspiration is a lot of the stuff is from the future, and it's interesting because Chris had talked about the niche market he was trying to target that was between like several $100,000 profit business to like 70 or 80 million dollar type businesses that he was trying to target. And I'm not necessarily trying to shoot that large as far as like the profit goes, but I am trying to shoot like between like $500,000 and $600,000 profit to like 40 or 50 million dollars. Trying to stay away from businesses that I'm trying to target that actually have like a board they have to answer to just before a board, but still have one person that can make those final decisions. Because I want to deal directly with business owners myself. So what I'm trying to do is this is my first attempt at a Stylescape, and I figure what better way to figure out how well my new process is going to work than to take myself through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is my very first ever Stylescape, and I posted it up in the Show Your Work. But I've still been looking at it, and I can't get past this point. I'm trying to figure out where it is I'm wanting to go with it, and I've just got a bit of a creative block on it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, so here's my initial feedback, and I'm gonna be tough. Is that okay?
Please be tough. Rip me apart.
Okay. So what I have here in front of me, I would not present this to a client because it feels massively incomplete.
It is.
So the thing is that like we've got colors going on, we've got 4 different kind of fonts, we've got a couple of examples, but it doesn't feel like a thing yet. That makes sense. It doesn't feel like I don't get one impression from this Stylescape. It doesn't feel like a cohesive piece. And the difference between a Stylescape and a mood board is that a Stylescape is like curated to communicate a single message. And I'm not truly getting that yet from this. So first, we need way more examples of things to put in here. Because, matter of fact, let's ask the chat. So chat, would you guys as designers know how to design a brand and a website and all the things that Squall Dog's gonna need based on this Stylescape? Would you be able to take this and go, I got it, I know what you're looking for, let me help you out? Let me know in the chat. Because that's the whole purpose, right?
And I'll tell you this much, like I know for a fact, like I know beyond a shadow of a doubt this is not completed. And that's kind of why I'm putting it up, because I'm really kind of having a hard time trying to figure out, like, I thought I knew what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But like as far as like the example images, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how to curate example images for it. I'm really having a hard time just trying to figure out how to build from what I've got here and what changes to make.
Gotcha. So the first thing that I would do is start creating buckets somewhere, whether that's on Pinterest or in your Finder or Explorer. You want to have a file system full of inspirational images that would apply to this project. So I do this on Pinterest a lot. Chris does it in the Finder. He saves everything to his computer. And basically, you're going to want to look for all the different executions that you may need to do in the future. So things like website, brochures. I see you have like a end of year analysis or an annual report there. Logo designs, colors, color palettes, typography examples, wayfinding, app design. So you're going to want to find all these examples that lead you down the same path, and you'll be surprised how many resources that you find are using the same kind of thing. And a good example is literally the inspiration that I pulled for this site. Like all this stuff is made by all different designers, and yet if you kind of analyze it, like look at the superhero cheesecake compared to the enduring relationships thing. This layout is very similar. Like there's only slight changes between these two pieces of inspiration. You know, so you're going to look for things like these that can lead you down the path of, okay, if I'm going to make something that's really type heavy, it's going to look like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. I guess I'm so new to this whole concept of design, of how to build for my clients, that I'm very much a novice in this. It's kind of like I said before, like I feel like I've spent the last 10 years in design going in reverse, because my old way of designing was to just dump everything out of my head and onto an artboard, and like just have like this flow chart of how things would go. And I'm trying to transition myself away from that to actually having a targeted approach of how I do this. And so like spilling everything out of my head onto an artboard will be good for getting me $400 logos. But I'm trying to get to a point to where I've got, a nice, like, the stylescape. I'm trying to get to a point where I've got an actual brand put together to where I can charge $10,000 to $15,000 for a logo, because I've got great looking logos where I've spilled crap out of my head onto an artboard, but now it's at a point where like I'm trying to get away from that and be more targeted.
Right. So I think you take those ideas and then you find them. I think that's going to be one of your biggest challenges, right? So you've already you already started designing a logo here, right? Because this is the name of the company. Right. So you've already gone too far. And then this pattern, did you make that?
Yes.
Already gone too far. So with the stylescape, I would try and make as little as possible and only find those resources. And I think that what you're going to find is, as you're digging through these things, your taste is going to improve, your visual vocabulary, the library of visuals that you have in your head, all of that stuff is going to improve over time, and you'll start to see patterns in things. And so one of the things that I want to point out is, like, if I were going to design a logo for you, I would be very confused, because we've got an sans serif, all lowercase, word mark here. And then we've got a sans serif, all uppercase word mark here. And then we've got this, which is kind of like a scripty, hipstery logo type here. And then you've probably got another logo here. So if I were to take this from you as a creative director to make a logo, I would be totally lost. I would start from scratch. So if you want your logo to be something like this, like the craft, then you need to pull a couple more examples of that and put it on the stylescape. I think we talked a lot about this process in building a brand when we were doing the stylescapes for the Hamiltons. So I would recommend checking that out and seeing how the team pulled all those together. And then I want to show you an example. Let's do case study Anime Expo here. I think we have the stylescapes in here.
And I think that's where the disconnect is for me, as far as building the stylescapes, because my mind is still stuck in that create stuff from scratch mindset. So like I'm trying to mesh creating stuff from scratch into taking curated images to figure out how it's going to look. And so like I'm so busy trying to create the brand that I'm not pulling myself back, and I'm not scaling back my process of to just pull stuff that's already been created to figure out where I want it to go.
Yeah, I'm not seeing these stylescapes for this. It's really strange. We usually share those. Well, I'll tell you what, here, let me go into Discord and pull one of the stylescapes that somebody else posted. Let's see.
And just for full, like I said, just for full transparency, I know that this is still something that's very much unfinished. So that's why I'm kind of at a creative block here. I can't figure out how to pull this together as my first stylescape. I can't figure out how to pull this together. Once I get past this, I'll kind of have a better idea of what to do going forward for other design work.
Yeah, it makes sense. So let's see, who was this? This was Nafe. Yeah, so Nafe is kind of nailed things down right here. So he's pulled, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 examples of how this existing logo is used, and his job is to build a brand around that specific logo. So he's communicating this, but if these were different logos, they would all want to look very similar. Maybe it's a plant or a smooth vector icon on top, and then text on bottom, and then showing a different vector icon in a circle. So you'd want to like pull those kinds of logos, and then the photography style is very, very similar. The blacks are lifted, so there's no true dark black in there. There's a tone applied to all three of these that looks consistent. You've got the same color palette throughout, and then the big difference between the two is that take a look at the way he's layered things in there. So you've got this one versus this one. It's much more interesting to look at, and it looks like a cohesive piece. He's pulled screenshots of websites here, different iconography, and everything's kind of layered on top of each other in a really pleasing way. Like your eye starts here, and then it hits this guy's face, which nobody feels that way about mail. Come on. And then kind of goes through the rest of the composition. So I would work on bringing more elements in that are very consistent to the look and feel that you want to generate, and then layering things together so you get this really nice composition that communicates one specific thing. And the process is you do deep digging. I would find 100 images of every avenue, every piece of execution that you're going to find. So let's say, is iconography. Find like 20 pieces of iconography and save it in a folder. And then when you go to put it in your stylescape, pull the 3 or 4 that's most in line with what you think you need to, be looking like. And then same thing with like website design or brochure design, or, so that way you start with a lot of inspirational pieces, and then you refine it down to the few that are going to make it in the stylescape. And then you kind of compose this thing, you lay it out in a very pleasing way.
So basically, like, and just to make sure I kind of...
Oh, sorry, you're cutting out.
Sorry. So basically, what I probably need to do is go and check out, like you were saying, like let's look at several different ones. And when I find one, as far as like overall design, aesthetic, and all that goes, that really looks what I'm trying to go for, do I take that brand and basically rebuild that brand, but rebuild it in such a way with stuff that's already been created, obviously. Do I rebuild it to look like I want my brand to look? Is that what I need to do with this?
No, so that's the one thing, is that you don't want to find the one brand that does everything right. You want to find pieces from multiple different executions. So for example, in here, these are all different companies, but in my mind, I see patterns, the relationship of the header to the body copy here, right? The use of an accent typeface like this. So you're looking for those patterns in the inspirational pieces that you pull out, and this is what you decide to kind of like layer on your stylescape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So I guess my last question.
Oh, you're cutting out again.
Sorry, it's a stupid push to talk button. So basically, what I ought to do is, no, I'm sorry. ADD moment. So I look for like what types of keywords? Like, do I look for keywords, or do I like how do I go about looking for that stuff? Like, what should I be typing in for searching?
So like let's just do a quick Pinterest search. So we'll do logo design inspiration. So you should be able to find something that you like on this first page. So you just let me know when we find it.
That one that said true.
I'm missing it. Oh, this one here? Okay, cool. So let's take a look at this. And then the beautiful thing about Pinterest is that you can scroll down and they'll find things that are related. So we find another one. Here's another true. So this is the same thing. Hold up.
Like, I like the look of it for them having it all caps, but I'm thinking about doing like all lower caps for mine. That's why I got the word mark in there on the stylescape. But I like the way they stylize that text.
Okay, so maybe searching something like modern logo design.
I got you.
Let's see. And if it's lowercase, if that's the vision, then you find the lowercase things that work. So let's see. So let's say this one, right? This is kind of cutesy. It's not exactly what you're looking for, but it's almost in line. Then you start digging. Maybe this fuse one. That's kind of cool. Now we're into some interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting you went towards that, because one of the things I was thinking about doing is pulling a curve of the J up to meet the U, and like working towards kind of stylizing, having the front of the word mark curve over, and then the back of the word mark curve around to the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, you're going through this stuff and you're just looking for pieces that speak to the idea that you're trying to find. Here's a logo with a J. If you click on this one, what is that? You get so far down the Pinterest rabbit hole that you start finding the same things over and over again, and then some things start to make sense. But I would be pinning 10, 20, 100 different examples of things that I'm after, and then once I've collected it, then you curate and you start bringing things together. And to make things feel the same, you can change tone on the photography. You can change colors in Photoshop of the different things so that it all looks like one thing. But the goal is not to design anything. The goal is to cobble something together from all of your inspirational pieces. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Cool.
I'm sitting here looking, and stupid buttons getting on my nerves. So that true that I saw was kind of blending in with that. There's one piece of iconography in there that it looked very similar to the way it was animated. So that gives me a little better idea of what it is I need to be looking for. Like watching the stuff, that Zenith one, that's the one that kind of looks like the thing from the true one.
Yeah. So things like patterns and textures and photography, you want to pull all those in to the stylescape and make sure that you're identifying those pieces so that you can have a reference point for when you're putting everything together. Okay? So you want to do that for everything. Like you want to go down a Pinterest rabbit hole for every category of execution on the stylescape.
I got you.
Cool. All right, man. I appreciate it. All right. Back here. All right, guys. I have to stop. I don't know if you're tuning into the Discord or the stream, but appreciate you jumping in the waiting room. And then I will be back on Tuesday. So Sean and This is Syrup come on back then, and I'll critique your stuff. Right. Well, guys, I think that's about it. It is 2:00, and it is time for me to actually get to work. So it is going to be a busy rest of the day. All right, so let's recap what we did today on stream. We cleaned up our artboard here. We've got all of the dark mode stuff up top. We've got the start of the light mode stuff. And then over the weekend, I'll probably put together and refine the rest of the desktop designs. And then probably Tuesday, we'll knock out all of the mobile designs and then move into Webflow. I'm debating whether or not to stream all of the asset collection. So like, for example, I've got folders upon folders upon folders of old work. So like, for example, here's a case study, Beauty by Earth. This was one of my first clients back in 2013. So I've got a bunch of this stuff. This is what would have been a Behance case study back in the day. And I got a bunch of this stuff that I need to go through and edit and actually pull into my site. So all the images need to be created, etc. But I'm not sure if that's going to make a boring stream or not. You guys just let me know. But until next time, thanks a bunch. Let's go find someone to raid here. Second. Twitch. Okay, so A's on. Let's see if anybody else is on. So we went to A last time. Okay, Manny, you want to see that? I don't understand all of the hot tub Twitch streams. Why the inflatable hot tubs in the bedrooms? Let's see, makers and crafting. Somebody that I know. Let's see. And really what I'm looking for is just somebody who's doing design or making something cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess that is interesting to you guys. All right, we're gonna raid A because he's awesome. All right, guys. Until next time, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm loving these streams. They're super chill. They're a great way for me to just build relationships with you, and I appreciate it. So, until next time, I'm gonna go to an ending soon screen and then change the audio back to that soul track. So, stay tuned for the raid, and otherwise, see you soon. Thanks, guys.